Poppy Playtime, Chapter X, The Locked Level. The Playtime Commerce factory held many secrets, but not all of them were ever revealed. Official documents only mentioned the main production halls, but there were rumors among former employees about the locked level, a place that was not listed on any map of the building. The Forgotten Door. The main character is a former employee of the plant who received a mysterious, threatening letter. It said, "You shouldn't have come back. They're still here. If you find the locked door, don't open it. This is not a game." But of course, the warning only fueled curiosity. Exploring the old factory, he came across a corridor that wasn't marked on any building plan. At the end of the corridor was a massive metal door without a handle that read, "Prototype X. Access denied." Next to the door was a strange mechanism that looked like a facial scanning device. But as soon as the hero approached, a red glow flashed in the darkness. The scanner activated itself. The door opened with a resounding click. System error. Behind the door was a long, narrow tunnel leading to deep underground rooms. The neon lights flickered dimly, and the air was heavy, as if it hadn't been ventilated in decades. Along the walls were unknown toys, not like Huggy Wuggy or Kissy Missy. These were misshapen, with ugly faces and empty eye sockets. On the floor lay old cassette tapes. Launching one of them, the hero heard the voice of the developer Playtime Co. That was a mistake. It shouldn't have moved. But we couldn't control it. If you hear that, run. The camera on the screen jumped and a monstrous shadow flashed into the frame. The tape cut off with an eerie scream, a creature in the dark. There was a rustling sound behind. A tall figure appeared in the dim light of the tunnel. It moved unevenly, as if it was being pulled by invisible threads. The hero froze. He realized that this was no toy. The creature was human-like, but its body looked like it had been sewn together from fragments of other creatures. Its skin was like rubber. Its arms had crooked claws, and instead of a face, it was an eyeless mask with a hole for a mouth. It whispered, "Blankety white me." The hero rushed back, but the door behind him slammed shut. The creature moved closer, its head tilted at an unnatural angle, and its mouth beginning to stretch. The hero grabbed the nearest object, an old wrench, and threw it at the creature. It disappeared, as if crumbling into dust. An old doll was left on the floor. Her face, exactly the same as the hero's. The finale? A metallic scraping sound came from far away, as if someone else was crawling out of the darkness. A voice from the plant speakers said hoarsely,
"System L, Prototype X has been activated. The experiment continues, y'all." The end.
The hero stood in a semi-dark hallway, clutching a doll that looked just like himself. A metallic scraping sound echoed through the factory. Something was coming. The voice on the speakers whispered, "System error. Prototype X has been activated. Experiment continues." The hero looked up and saw them. From the depths of the laboratory, from the dark passageway, creatures were tumbling out. They looked like toys, but their bodies were too lifelike, rubber and plastic intertwined with bits of human flesh. Their movements were unnatural, as if they were suspended on invisible threads. The first one looked like a doll sewn from different fabrics, with a crooked, overly wide mouth and empty eye sockets. It twitched and whispered, repeating in the voice of the hero his every word, but belatedly. "Where am I? Where am I? Run! Run!" They surrounded him, filling the tunnel. The hero tore sideways, clawing at the doll, and rushed through the nearest doorway. Behind him was an archive room full of old documents and monitors showing the plant's cameras. On one of the screens, he saw himself, but not here in the office. He was standing in a tunnel surrounded by creatures. But that's impossible. Are you the prototype? On the desk lay another videotape. With trembling hands, the hero inserted it into an old video player. A voice came from the speakers. "If you're watching this, you're already infected. You think you're human? They made you. You didn't exist until now. The locked level is where the prototypes were created, but none of them survived. No one but you." The screen flashed again. Now it had his face on it, but it was looking right at him. as if the screen were a mirror, as if he himself was part of the experiment. The finale? The corridor outside the door filled with the sound of footsteps. The creature with the eyeless mask had returned. The game is on. The hero clutched his head. Memories he shouldn't have had flashed before his eyes. He saw himself, but not a human. He saw hands made of rubber and metal. He saw experiments being performed on him. He was not the real him. He was Prototype X. To be continued.